So, Dr. Kusin, I've been looking forward to this conversation because I'm curious as to what prompted the launch of the Black Girl Freedom Campaign, and why now?
Thank you. Prior to the COVID pandemic, less than 1% of the estimated $67 billion that foundations contribute to public interest and social welfare projects were granted to organizations that explicitly support women and girls of color. So the $1 billion for Black Girls campaign is a 10-year mobilization effort to change that. And we launched the effort knowing that unless we explicitly named Black girls, femmes, and gender-expansive youth as an important cohort to receive philanthropic giving and other forms of investments, that these communities would continue to be abysmally small.
So, Joanne, when you're looking at the arc of the campaign, what was special about this specific week in the life of this campaign?
Sure. Well, the Black Girl Freedom Week is really an interruption of erasure and invisibility during Black History Month. I mean, we celebrate the month, and oftentimes the adults who've made significant contributions, really not knowing that Black youth have co-led and been integral to every social justice movement. I mean, even when you think about Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech, a Black girl, right, influenced and inspired Dr. King to say that speech and inspire the masses. When you think about 9-year-old Bobby Wilson, who was just honored by Yale, she's in the 4th grade, and the police were called on her because she was a budding scientist looking at the lanternflies that were in her neighborhood. We're lucky we're not saying her name as a hashtag. Instead, we're celebrating her. And so the Black Girl Freedom Fund and the Black Girl Freedom Week is about really interrupting, shifting the narrative, and lifting up what innovation, brilliance, joy, and cultural creation that Black girls bring to society.
That's such an important point to make because there's a lot of energy around those attributes, and yet we don't see the kind of support out there, at least we haven't in the past, which makes this effort so important. So, Dr. Kusin, how close are you to beginning to reach that $1 billion goal, and how will that money be distributed?
So we are, very close to mobilizing, I would say, toward the goal of reaching our yearly benchmarks for this project. It's important to note that because we were operating from a standpoint of abundance and operating from the realization that we would be working to mobilize different organizations, philanthropic organizations, corporate giving, and other forms of investments into this project, that our organization around the Black Girl Freedom Fund as one element of how we would distribute resources toward the $1 billion for Black girls was always intended to really spend the first 5 years building out an infrastructure to get people to even see and honor and explore Black girls as a worthwhile investment. So the Black Girl Freedom Week is intended to make visible the cultural and political work that often go unrecognized or erased or undervalued, but we're also very close to making some announcements about the types of investments that our partners through mobilization efforts are making and the diversity of those types of investments that we've been working toward for the past 3 years.
So, Joanne, Black girls occupy so many different spaces and they come from so many different backgrounds. Which Black girls are set to benefit the most from your campaign?
All Black girls are set to benefit. Black girls, gender expansive youth, Black girls who identify as trans, non-binary. When we think of, Black girlhood, oftentimes within academia, we think about adulthood. We think about us as women and the Black girlhood within us. This campaign specifically is looking at Black girls under the age of 24 and focusing on them while they're young. When I was 25, I started Girls for Gender Equity over 20 years ago. That kind of investment from a fellowship shifted not only my trajectory, but my family's trajectory as a first-generation Haitian immigrant and as a queer woman. And so when we think of what Black girls can do, it's not because we're living in a world where we're just, so, out there and we just, don't want to look at the marks. We are the marks, right? And we want to be sure that we are paving pathways as elders, and as future ancestors centers so that the Black girls who are innovative have an easier way to get the resources that they deserve. Because we're at a point now in our country where we need that innovation. And Black girls have done so much with so little for so long. It is time to pour into Black girls abundantly.